Once upon a time, I would build sites for my clients using whatever it was that they wanted, and that usually ended up being one of two different types of tools. On the one hand, you had the DIY stuff like Wix and Squarespace, which were super easy to set up, super easy for them to manage, but also not flexible at all. And then on the flip side, you had the stuff that was super flexible like WordPress, but it was also a total pain to set up and not very easy for non-technical clients to manage. And so, as you could probably imagine, when I was introduced to Webflow, my eyes lit up. That was back in 2018. And from that moment up until recently, I was hooked. And the reason was simple. I wanted to deliver my clients the top quality of work without having to do a multiple year learning curve. And so over those 8 years with Webflow, we had done everything together, ranging from web apps that never even should have been in Webflow to $50,000+ marketing sites. Webflow has helped me hit new heights in my career. And honestly, for that, Webflow, I love you. But here's the thing, and here's why I'm making this video. I have not used Webflow in over 8 months, and I don't miss it at all. So unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know what agentic development is, or vibe coding, or whatever it is that you want to call it. On the simplest level, you type in a prompt to AI, and then you just get something on the other end. And we've all seen those Lovable and Replit ads where they promise that you can just type in a prompt and get a working app in a weekend. Cool. But that's never really gotten me excited. The thing is, I do this for a living. I understand that you can't just build a good website with one prompt. A good website is hours of conversation, hundreds or thousands of decision, and genuinely good communication from the business to the consumers about what it is that the company does. The code on a website is just part of it. At the end of the day, build a website in a weekend doesn't excite me because I've always been able to build a website in a weekend. A shit website. So anyways, my point here is a good website cannot be made with a prompt. But let me tell you what can be made with a prompt. Anything concrete. If you want a new section for your site, type in a prompt. If you want to install analytics on your site, type a prompt. If you want to change your button colors site-wide, type a prompt. The point is, the execution can be handled by AI. The decisions cannot. And while I've seen a lot of people comparing tools like Webflow and Framer to AI-built sites, I think that's a really stupid conversation to be having because at the end of the day, tools like Webflow and Framer are rapidly adopting AI, and before you know it, the default workflow is going to be prompt your agent. Whether you're in Framer, whether you're in Claude Code, whether you're in Lovable, it's always just going to be prompt your agent. And so if that's the case with the user experience, then what purpose do tools like Webflow and Framer claim that they serve? Well, the answer is infrastructure. Tools like Webflow and Framer handle all your infrastructure for you. Hosting, CMS, security, all you need to do is enter in your card details, hit pay, hit publish, and your site is live. And up until now, that has been a huge time saver, and that alone was worth the cost that these tools charged. However, there's one rule with products. When a product does everything well, they do nothing great. I'm just going to make a statement today and say these two things. Cloudflare is an inherently better hosting provider than Webflow hosting, and Sanity is an inherently better CMS than Webflow's CMS. And let me tell you, as someone who does this for a living, I want the best. So why haven't I been using Sanity since 2018? Time. Here's the thing. I typically work with fast-moving companies, and if I told them it's going to take me 3 weeks just to set up your CMS, they would have probably ended the call and I would have lost the client. So it doesn't matter if Sanity is a better CMS than what Webflow has. It was never an option because it would take too long. Now, thanks to agents, I could build a site at the speed of thought. And then when I want a CMS, I could hook it up at the speed of thought. And then if I want to host it on world-class hosting infrastructure, I can do so at the speed of thought. So with the moat of speed to launch having dried up, I personally have no more use for tools like Webflow or Framer. Now look, I just want to make one thing clear. I'm not sitting here and trying to tell you that these tools are going out of business. They're not. And if you decide to spend the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years as a Webflow or Framer developer, I don't think you're going to go hungry. People are going to still want to use these tools for time to come. However, I think the reason for that can be simply summed up by my friend Luke Benici, who described these tools and said, well, you see, when a star dies, we can still see its light. It's dead, but we can still see its light. That is my opinion on the current state of no-code tools. They were built to solve a problem. which has been solved better than they ever would have been able to by agents. And so today, what you're left seeing is the light of a star that once was. Now, before I go, I just want to say this video was made to start a conversation. It's not a declaration. I am not the one who can declare a tool dead or not. We all work differently and we all see things differently. So I would like to point to the comment box below and welcome anyone to tell me how wrong I am, how stupid I am, and how great no-code tools are. I'm genuinely excited to have these conversations, so I'll see you in the comments below. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.